Now this is the thing that we have seen in case of a base color, and that means a solid color and a pattern over here. Now what if we want to have this blending effect into different patterns, that means to different images. Now we have known about this particular background blending mode in case of a solid base color and an image. Now all we want to do, we want to blend between two different images that we will be using over here. So in the very first scenario, all we are going to do, we are going to nullify off this particular background base color, and instead of that we will be using another image here. Let's say this one, this window.jpg. So press F2 and copy this file name along with this extension name. Get back to your project, and here we need to provide this particular image source. In the very first case, all we are going to do, we are going to comment this particular thing off that we had done. Let's get back to our project and reload, and we can see that this is the scenario. And on the other hand, I would like to mention here that we have provided this particular foxbig.png in the very first situation, that is why it is laying above, and in the second condition we are providing this images window.jpg. But what if we now reverse these things, like if we place this fox image at the bottom, if we want to place them at the bottom, then we have to mention it in the second case. As we can see now that the window.jpg is in the position 1 condition, and this foxbig.png, it is now in the position 2 condition in its syntax. Now if we get back to our project and reload, we can see that the fox.png, it is now practically gone. It is practically lying underneath this particular window.jpg over here. Another thing, it is now repeating itself, as we can see here. So first of all, let's reorganize the positions. We want this fox.big.png at the top above, and that is why we will be mentioning it in the first case. We don't want any kind of repeat condition for this particular window.jpg, so we will be providing it here. Reload, and we can see that here goes the scenario. Now all we can do, we can turn on this particular blending modes over here, and we can see that this is the thing that we want. So let's get back to our project and reload, and we can see that in practicality these two images, this foxbig.png, it is practically lying above, and the second image, that means this particular window.jpg, it is lying underneath, and they are transiting among themselves. That means they are now having some kind of blending effects in them, and it is under overlay condition, and this is practically the scenario. Now all we have to do, instead of this contain thing, we will be using here background size cover, reload, and this is the scenario. Everything is in vicinity. Now that we have made it over here, we can see that this is the blending mode effect that we can observe right now. Instead of this particular overlay condition, if we now provide here soft light, we need to make this change all over here. There it goes, reload, and we can see that this is the scenario, this is the output. So in every case, as we can see that we can blend between a base or a solid color and a pattern. We can blend between two different patterns. So it is not the important thing that what we are blending here, practically everything will be alright. Everything can be done as if we have done in case of any graphics software. So the same thing can be done, can be coded into this CSS, and we can use it. The important factor is reorganization or reorientation. If we want a particular image to be on the layer 1, on the top layer, than the rest of the others, then all we need to do, we need to mention it here in this particular case in the first position, And in the second position, we need to mention the underneath image that we wish to keep at the bottom of the first image. So this is how we can blend between them. We can use this blending effect into our project. Hope this thing will be aiding you in creating your own project. In the next tutorial, we are going to understand how to use filter effects in case of images. So until that, stay tuned.